The Department of Justice said in a letter to the Clintons when they asked, how do we get doctors, how do we require doctors to come into our system? And the Department of Justice said the Constitution requires that you cannot do that. However, as long as you get HMOs, the only way that they'll get to the patients is to join the HMO, and then you can control them from there, essentially was what they were saying. So doctors have a constitutional right not to join a government program, and they have a constitutional right not to be a doctor. President Obama can promise care until he's blue in the face, but if the money runs out or the doctors leave just as baby boomers rush in, who are the patients going to get that care from? Where are the surgeons going to be? Who will do the heart surgery, the skin transplant, the cancer treatment? Doctors will have at least 5 choices before they jump ship. They will have at least 5 choices to make when government rationing protocols start to appear on their computer screens in something called decision support. That's an embedded treatment protocol on a computer screen that tells the doctor how to treat you. They can fight government bureaucrats and their health plan collaborators on your behalf. They can tell you about the government's prescribed denial of care and tell you to go fight for yourself. They can leave their conscience behind and not tell you that your care has been denied and they will comply with the government's rationing protocols. They can give you the care you need and risk financial losses, censure, loss of license, or prison time for defrauding the government, or they can leave the practice of medicine. Remember, coverage is not care. Coverage is just a promise of something without a guarantee of anything. We can promise you every benefit in the world, but then we can turn around and deny it. But now, here's a warning, and do not miss this. Let's say that you're successful as citizens. Let's say that the pressure is so hot that the members of Congress cannot bear to put their name on this bill. Let's say the whole thing ends up in a scrap heap in Washington, D.C. I don't want you to heave a sigh of relief and go away, because there is something looming that people are not talking about and need to know and need to tell their members of Congress that they're watching for it. And that is the individual mandate. The mandate, a federal mandate coming down from the federal government, which says that you must purchase health insurance. This is a tiny, tiny little thing that will lead to socialized medicine for all of us, because once the federal government has such a law and obligates you to do so, then they are obligated to make sure it happens, to decide what it means, what is the insurance that you have to have, what does it look like, who has to provide it, who can provide it. It is the way to put the federal government in control. It's already in this bill, right? And the bill can go away, but it can come back as a little tiny amendment in another bill. And here's what it could say. It's something as simple as this. All Americans are required to purchase health insurance and to annually report their insurance status to the IRS. Any American who is not insured for 12 months of every year will pay a fine of 2.5% of their income, or a prorated amount if uninsured for any part of the year. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is authorized to write rules and regulations to implement this section. This section becomes effective on January 1st, 2010. There you have it, right? And they will write the rules to decide what it means. And everything that's in this bill could be their rule. And rules take on the full force and effect of the law. So if this thing becomes law, the federal government can assume control of all things insurance, and we will have a socialized medicine system. So you must not miss the individual mandate. And unfortunately, a lot of Republicans and Democrats are all in agreement on this individual mandate. They're not thinking. Those who are conservative, those who don't want socialized medicine, are not thinking when they say such a thing. If we do not have a mandate, here's what we have. We'll have the freedom not to play the government's game, not to comply. You will have the freedom to stay uninsured, to save your own health care dollars, to pay cash for care, to negotiate prices, to stay out of the government's health surveillance system, and to help build a new system of care based on freedom of doctors, freedom of patients, and freedom of choice, and much lower prices than we see today. Thus, it is time to share your concerns about the bill and the mandate with members of Congress. They're listening now, even if they don't want to. So let me encourage you to stand up and speak out, because we cannot afford to give the federal government control over our healthcare system and our lives. We cannot afford to let the Obama administration change the freedom of conscience laws so that doctors can be forced by law to ration care and commit euthanasia. We cannot afford to put our lives in the hands of government officials who look at us as perhaps eventually expendable. We cannot afford to be forced to purchase health insurance if we want to keep our freedom. So here are a few possible solutions that I'm going to leave you with regarding the mess that Congress has gotten us into over these 40, 50 some years. To protect and preserve our freedom, it's essential that we disconnect health insurance from employment through tax equity. We must free patients from the death trap, as I said, of Medicare, in order to save them from the rationing guidelines yet to come. We must and can preserve freedom of conscience protections for physicians so that they can continue to protect us if they wish. We should give healthcare dollars and cost consciousness back to the people. We should encourage true insurance instead of prepaid healthcare. We should tax hospitals that aren't truly charitable nonprofits, and health plans here in Minnesota that certainly are not charitable nonprofits. We should let Medicare patients pay cash for care denied. Right now, it's illegal. We should secure the ability of all people to pay cash for care denied. Lots of health plans are putting it in their contracts with the doctors that the doctors will not accept cash if the health plan denies care. And we should repeal HIPAA, the no privacy rule that gives government health surveillance powers over every American citizen and all their doctors. We cannot afford to lose this battle. If we lose freedom here in America, where will you go? Where will you go? So stand up, speak up, and keep them on the run. The voice of a free people is the strongest voice in the world. Never let it be silenced. Thank you. If anyone has questions, and I just want to say something in regards to, you're going to talk energy, right? Soon, after me. And I just wanted to say that the whole cap and trade, climate control, environmental piece, one thing you just need to know when it comes to public health and where health care is going in this, they are connected. There was, in fact, in 2007, an environmental health tracking bill that allows the health department to connect all the databases that they have on people to monitor them and their health. We're looking for places in the environment to see where illness may or may not have come from. Whether or not they can really tell or not is beside the point. What I'm just letting you know is that healthcare and environment are coming together. Healthcare and climate change are coming together. And the environmental health tracking bill, the tracking of all of us through our electronic medical records and the health department's registries on us, is something that most people don't know about. So I wanted to let you know that. So now, yes. Wait. This man goes first.
I have a question. We have the Star Tribune here covering this with the way everybody's behaving. But my question is, has the material you just covered appeared in our newspaper at any point in time? Not our newspaper. I wrote an article about the meeting instead of about the information so that people can make up their own minds when they have time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another pointed question, please.